welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious beef curry. It's super simple and easy to make and tastes amazing. So I'm calling this my beginner's beef curry. So let's get started. Okay, here's what you're going to need for this super easy beef curry. Starting with the beef there, I've got 1 kilo of beef. You can use any cut of beef, it does not matter for a curry. With your spices, I've got turmeric, chili powder, paprika, oil, garam masala, some dried spices, ginger and garlic paste. I've got 2 good sized tomatoes, try and use fresh, an onion, cumin powder, coriander powder, and salt to taste. So let's get started. I'm going to add my oil to a heated pan, and once that's heated up, I'm going to start with some red chillies, my dry spices, a stick of cinnamon, some cardamon and cloves, and we're just going to stir this for about 2 to 3 minutes till it releases its aroma. You'll smell the spices and you know that it's done. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. And what that does is it flavors the oil, so the dry spices give the oil a nice infused flavor. So our beef goes in next. And as I mentioned earlier, you can use any cut of beef. I have bought this from my butcher and he has it already cut. Just going to change my spoon out so that plastic spoon is too soft. And we're just going to brown this beef. The cheaper cuts of beef are good for curries. So this is actually, my butcher said it's called knuckle. So it's nothing special. If you do use a fatty cut, then just adjust your oil accordingly. I'm going to add my salt. And just stir that through. Now I'm cooking this in a pressure cooker. You do not have to cook it in a pressure cooker. I like to cook my beef in a pressure cooker because it just cooks in half the time. But if you don't have a pressure cooker, that's okay. Just cook it as per normal on the stove top. So have the heat up high when you're trying to brown your meat. Okay, so that's taken about 5 minutes. I'm happy with that. So my ginger garlic paste goes in next. And I'm going to cook this through for about 5 minutes till the ginger garlic loses that raw smell. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes now and I can smell that the ginger and garlic are cooked. So it's time for my dry spices to go in. So coriander, cumin, garam masala, chili powder to your taste, or you can use fresh chilies, paprika for color, and turmeric. So we're going to mix through these spices. Notice you can see that my meat has released all its juices, so there's a fair bit of water here. Now the tip is to dry this up with the spices, so I'm not going to add anything else till I dry this water up that it's released, which could take about 10 minutes. So I've got it on high, and it's good because it's not going to burn my dry spices that I put in. The spices are going to cook nicely with the juices that the meat has released. So I'm going to keep stirring this and cooking it for about 5 to 10 minutes, however long it takes for the juices to dry up. So make sure you don't skip this step. It's really important because this really makes a difference to how your curry turns out. So dry this up, brown it nicely with all the spices. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, the water has now dried up and you can see oil floating to the surface. Now, this is what will give you a really nice tasting curry. It's being patient and waiting till this happens. You can even see that the oil has changed color. It's absorbed all the spices, has infused with the oil, and this is what makes a good curry. So be patient and don't skip this process or rush this process. And I can't say that enough, because you can use a recipe, but if you skip this process, it just tastes different. It does not taste as good as if you take the time to do this. So I'm still going to give this another 5 more minutes because I really want to brown this beef in these spices. This one step makes all the difference. Okay, I'm happy with that. As you can see, all those juices have dried up nicely. So it's time now for my onions to go in. And I'm going to mix these onions through for about 5 minutes. Now I'm pressure cooking my beef. So this is a step here that I'm not going to fuss about too much, because I know that my onions and tomatoes will dissolve when I pressure cook. So I'm going to dump my tomatoes in next. I've diced it up really small because my tomatoes were a little bit raw. And I'm going to mix this through for about 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 7 to 8 minutes, and as you can see again, that oil is coming to the surface again, which tells me that my tomatoes and onions are softened up nicely. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to add some warm water to this. And because I use a pressure cooker, I have to add a little bit extra water. So normally you would just add enough of water to cover your meat and then cook it on the stove top. I'm just going to add a little bit more. So I'm adding a little bit more water. It was almost about 500 ml. And now I'm going to put the lid on and cook this in my pressure cooker, and with this cut of meat, it might take about 20 minutes to half an hour. So I'm going to open my pressure cooker in about 20 minutes to check this. So I'll see you back in 20. I've let all the steam out of my pressure cooker. Oh, this looks good. So let's check if my meat is cooked. Yes, my meat is nice and tender. So that took about 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to give this another 5 minutes. My meat is tender, but I just want it a little bit softer. So I'm going to add some warm water and cook this without the pressure for another 5 minutes. I'm just going to put the lid on, but I'm not going to pressurize it. Five minutes is up, so let's check on this. Now, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Do consider subscribing for more videos. So, okay, so have a look at this nice thick gravy. I'm really happy with that. If your gravy had dried up too much, you would just add some warm water and adjust your gravy. So I am going to garnish this with some fresh coriander, which is optional. So there you have it, my beginner's beef curry, which was super simple to make and will taste absolutely delicious. So do give this a try. I would love to hear from you in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I do have a lot of beef recipes, so I will link them in the description below. Thank you for watching.